Except for a handful of states in the Southwest, marijuana is still legal in the United States. But with Anslinger's arrival in 1930, marijuana is the new drug problem born out of the trouble in the Southwest with Mexican migrant workers.
The pressure came from the Southwest and the West, where the Mexican immigrants were seen as a unnecessary and dangerous surplus population. And so there was a tremendous campaign to try to push the Mexican immigrants back into Mexico. And marijuana got mixed up in that, because there was no question that they grew marijuana and smoked marijuana.
In 1931, Mexican repatriation becomes law. Mexicans who don't go quietly are subject to varying forms and degrees of harassment. Many are charged with vagrancy. Others are arrested for violation of new state marijuana laws that are often an excuse to drive Mexicans out of the country.
By some estimates, almost 2 million individuals were deported from the United States in the 1930s. Some estimate that almost 60% of those that were deported were United States citizens.
Anslinger can do nothing to stop the push from states of the Southwest for a federal law against marijuana. The issue is less about the dangers of the drugs and more about politics. Marijuana is entangled in immigration problems.
This first document from the LA County's coordinator on unemployment relief to the Chamber of Commerce hopes that he can devise a plan and states, quote, "It would be a great relief to the unemployment situation if some method could be devised to scare these people out of our city." This wasn't just a proposal, however, as this June 4th, 1931 letter between members of LA's Chamber of Commerce summarizes, quote, he said that many Mexicans are absolutely terrorized and are ready to do anything to get out of Los Angeles. There are also reports that efforts have been made by some individuals to scare Mexicans who have property here in order to sell it at a fraction of its value on the ground that they were about to be deported.
One of their documents reflected a fight that the Board of Supervisors were having with their legal counsel, because their legal counsel were saying you can't participate in these deportations. They are illegal. They are unconstitutional. Do not allow the LA County Sheriff's Department to arrest and deport American citizens. In response to legal counsel's memos criticizing and recommending non-participation in the deportation program, the Board of Supervisors sent a memorandum back that said, quite simply, this is not about their civil rights. This is about the color of their skin. This is not about their civil rights. This is about the color of their skin.
World War II has begun.
What the United States did at that time was to send out draft notices to those 10-year-old boys in 1931 that were now in Mexico, would send draft notices to those now 20-year-old men to come back to the United States and fight on behalf of the United States in World War II. We couldn't document one young man that refused to come back and serve the United States in World War II.
The southwestern states prevail upon Anslinger to do something. The pressure is on for Anslinger to use the power of the federal government to control marijuana.
The Treasury Department intends to pursue a relentless warfare against the despicable, dope-peddling vulture who preys on the weakness of his fellow man.
After 5 days of hearings, the marijuana tax law goes to Congress for a vote. It's passed within weeks by roll call vote. President Roosevelt signs the bill on August 2nd. It takes effect October 1st. Southwest gets the federal law they wanted. The law requires that anyone wishing to buy, sell, distribute, or transfer marijuana must pay a tax and have a stamp. The penalty for failure to do so is 5 years in jail, a $2,000 fine, or both. But like the machine gun law, the government doesn't make the marijuana stamps available.
In the first full year after the Marijuana Tax Act was passed, Black people were about 3 times more likely to be arrested for violating narcotic drug laws than whites, and Mexicans were nearly 9 times more likely to be arrested for the same charge.